Greetings, dear people of God at Trinity, dear friends, and dear friends beyond. Thank you for joining me for this week's reflection, my second in this year 2022. After all the wondering and the worrying of the past 3 months, there is a date. I can turn to January 27th in my calendar, and there it is. Surgery, arrive at 5 a.m. Michael and I have now met by video with both surgeons, one for the top and one for the bottom, who will remove the cancer at the GE junction and then reconnect the esophagus and stomach with clean margins. An 8-hour dance. Since the end of treatment, I've gained enough weight back and gained more strength and endurance, along with the excellent scan results. My doctors both say that I am now an excellent candidate for that surgery. Of course, I'm fully aware of how lucky I am to be a cancer patient, or my surgery might well have been canceled or never scheduled at all. But I have been wishing it were tomorrow. Then my recovery can really begin, hard as that will be. 2 weeks from today, that's what I have. And a voice in my head keeps demanding my attention, asking questions that overwhelm me. How do I wait? What do I do? What do I need to do? Should I prepare? How should I prepare? I want to spend this time really well, but how? How do I live each day? What about the will, the advance directive, the boxes under my bed? My New Year's resolutions, my children, my grandchildren, my dearest friends, the thank you notes still to write. The only clear answer I get is, how do I live each day? Not by asking myself all these questions. And then Kate Bowler posted excerpts on Facebook from her new book, Good Enough. And it caught my eye. And one chapter in particular rang so true that I wanted to share it with you. She begins with the story of an old Mennonite pastor who at the pulpit is explaining the importance of time spent with God. He takes out a wide-mouthed mason jar and he begins to drop stones of various sizes to the bottom. Big, small, smooth, jagged. Plunk, plunk, plunk. Notice what happens when you put them in randomly, he says dramatically, and the jar quickly fills up to the top with dozens of stones left over. Now notice what happens when you put in the large stones first. The largest stones anchor in the bottom, then the medium stones, then the smallest stones fill in all the cracks. All the stones fit snugly in the jar as each settles into their little place. Kate Bowler goes on, for some people, the idea of prioritizing how to spend their day is very intimidating. In my recent conversation with author Mary Pfeiffer, she wholeheartedly agreed. A single day can feel impossible to wrangle into shape. As she got older, her friends were dying and her role was changing rapidly, and all the familiar work of parenting and caregiving and working had given way to an entirely amorphous existence. She, like that pastor, decided that the trick was to treat the day as something to prioritize. First, she decided there would have to be a walk. Sounds like Mary Oliver. She would listen to the birds no matter what. We need to learn how to structure a day that is rich in meaning and joy-producing activities, she writes. How we spend our time defines who we are. There is no magical future. Today is our future. A day is a limited thing. It is a mason jar with only so much room to spare. So, as the adage goes, first things first. It will take some time for you, Kate Bowler writes, to decide what the big stones and the small stones should be. Some seasons of our lives are overwhelmingly crowded. And if that's the case for you just now, completely understand. Maybe you can take a single moment and just breathe and ground yourself in the remembrance that you are a complete delight. Just this could be your touchstone. The best days will have room for the big stones. The structure of a good day is simply this: your biggest loves find their way in. God, friends, meaning, family, nature. Take some real unhurried time to reflect on how a spiritual practice might pop into your day. When is it practical for you? What is your preference? A night owl might choose to set aside a bedtime moment for her spiritual practice. Another might find that lunch is best. Either way, you will need a regular reminder to look for God in your day. And when your day is getting too stuffed, stop. Notice what is happening. Ask God for help. Or just breathe and look for the coming of love that renews and restores the goodness. Love that comes in so many different forms. Perhaps you have limitations, a health condition, or too much work or caregiving. My friend with leukemia recently told me that she began to see each day as capable of only 3 things: take a shower, call a friend, make lunch. I remember those times. Others have 40,000 things that must be done. To be human is to accept that we are limited. And the more honesty we have about that, the better. If we want to build a good day, we can start with just that. One day, one jar full at a time, filled with big stones. A blessing when you realize everyone is struggling, from Kate Bowler. Blessed are you who have realized that life is hard, and it's hard for everyone. Your awareness came at a cost. You lost something you can't get back. You were diagnosed with chronic pain or a degenerative disease. Your family fell apart. Things have never been the same. Blessed are you who gave up the myth that the good life is one of happiness, success, and perfection. The life that looks beautiful on Facebook but isn't real. You who realize it is okay to not be okay. To not have a shiny life, because no one does. Blessed are you who see things clearly, where struggle is everyone's normal. You walk among the fellowship of the afflicted, a club no one wants to join. And while this life isn't shiny, it does come with superpowers. Superpowers of ever-widening empathy and existential courage that get you back up after another fall. And a deepened awe at the beauty and love that can be found amid life's rubble, like flowers that grow from the cracks in the sidewalk. These virtues blossom in you. Thank God for you. Blessed are all of us who struggle, for we are in good company and will never walk alone. I'll finish there. I want to take Nevada for a walk. It's sunset. Amen.